and gentlemen, it's time to throw down! His opponent fighting out of the red corner to my left, wearing the gray trunks with the black trim. He weighed in at 189 pounds even. Fighting out of Calabasas, California, by way of Cleveland, Ohio. Here is Jake, the problem child, Paul!
Across the ring, fighting out of the white corner, wearing his traditional black, and officially weighing in at 220.4 pounds. The baddest man on the planet. Former undisputed, undefeated heavyweight champion of the world, Iron Mike Tyson. Presenting one of the most devastating heavyweight KO punches of all times, the two-time heavyweight world champion, former undisputed, undefeated heavyweight champion of the world, Iron Mike Tyson.
8 two-minute rounds sanctioned by the California State Athletic Commission.
You ready?
To begin this round, right hook to the body, followed by the right uppercut, has done so much damage over the years in Tyson. The Dogfather, hip-hop OG Snoop Dogg, and look at this! Talking, and I don't want to beat the horse here, guys, but two over 50-year-olds, what do you expect in terms of conditioning and stuff?
Jake Paul's mom is scared that his son is fighting the vicious Iron Mike Tyson. Moreover, Joe Rogan has warned Jake Paul about Mike Tyson's aggressive style of boxing.
But 58-year-old Mike Tyson is not 50-year-old Mike Jones that lives down the street. It's a different kind of human being. Yeah. He still can knock your head into another dimension.
While speaking with actor Russell Crowe, Rogan discussed the concerns surrounding Tyson's decision to step into the ring at nearly 60 years old. He stated, 58 is 58. No matter what you're taking and what they're doing for you, you're still 58. But 58-year-old Mike Tyson is not 50-year-old Mike Jones that lives down the street. It's a different kind of human being. He can still knock your head into another dimension if he can catch you. The match, initially scheduled for July, was postponed after Tyson withdrew due to a medical emergency. The Boxing Hall of Famer and former heavyweight champion has since been medically cleared and is back in training for his return to the ring. Rogan further questioned if Mike would be able to catch the much younger Jake Paul. He added, "The thing is, can Tyson catch a 28-year-old guy who is at the top of his career, who is winning legitimate boxing matches? He's beating former UFC world champions like Tyron Woodley. Jake had that very good fight with Tommy Fury, who is a legitimate boxer. That was a very good fight. And he just beat up Mike Perry, who is a bare-knuckle champion. He's a real fighter. He can fight. And if Mike Tyson and him are fighting, and Mike can't catch him, then it's hard to tell." Russell Crowe was sitting next to Joe Rogan and recalled an encounter he had with Mike Tyson. Crowe said that he was terrified of Mike when he met him decades ago, and even to this date, Crowe believes that Tyson is a terrifying human being.
The thing is, I was quite enjoying the second phase of Mike's life. You know what I mean? You know, he was terrifying as a boxer.
Yeah.
Terrifying, you know. Even when I met him at one point back, you know, backstage at the stadium at a fight, and I was like, I'm still terrified of you from watching you.
Russell told Rogan of his concern that Tyson has to slide back into the fearsome warrior that captured attention and transformed boxing in the 1980s and the 1990s. And even though he has reservations about the bout, Crowe finds it difficult to back the abrasive and confrontational Paul. He said, "I just hope for the both of them that it transcends the circus-type atmosphere. It's a legit fight, and nobody gets hurt. But it's Mike Tyson, as opposed to another boxer. So it's very different." Rogan then recalled the time he had to widen the table of his podcast platform just because Mike was the guest. Rogan said that Mike was preparing for his fight with Roy Jones Jr., and even though he was way past his prime at the time, him getting fit and going back to the training made him look like a different beast. We all know who Mike Tyson is, arguably one of the greatest heavyweights to ever step inside the squared circle. Mike Tyson used to devour his opponent, and because of his ruthlessness, Tyson has not fought since a draw with Roy Jones Jr. 4 years ago.
And then I had him on again when he was about to fight Roy Jones Jr.
and he had lost about 60 pounds.
Right.
He looked shredded. He had muscles bulging in his arms, and he was very intense.
Right.
It was like a completely different human being, and he was terrifying. Just being in the room was terrifying. And I said, you know what? This table needs to be a little wider.
I'm glad it wasn't only me.
Yeah, I just don't want to be that close to him. It scares me.
Right.
Like, I felt his energy. It was and even Jamie said it after he left. Jamie was like, that's a totally different person.
While his last professional bout saw him quit on his stool after 5 rounds against Kevin McBride in 2005. But despite Tyson being 58, Paul's mom is worried about her son suffering at the hands of the former undisputed heavyweight world champion. Asked if his family would be ringside, he said, "They will definitely be there, but my mom is very scared actually. She keeps on asking me if I'm ready, asking my team if I'm ready, and she's not liking this one. Mike just looks scary and big. His Instagram videos look crazy. So she's like watching all of that and just not liking it." And not just Jake's mom, there are many who believe that Mike will knock out Paul on the fight night. Kevin McBride, the last boxer to face Mike Tyson in a professional match, also issued a stark warning to Jake Paul as the YouTuber turned boxer prepares to step into the ring with the former heavyweight champion. With their bout scheduled for November, McBride's insights offer a glimpse into the formidable challenge that awaits Paul. Despite Tyson's age, McBride believes that the legendary fighter still poses a significant threat. McBride, now 51, defeated Tyson by technical knockout in 2005 in what was Tyson's final professional fight. Reflecting on that experience, McBride shared some vivid memories of just how powerful Tyson was, even in the twilight of his career. He recalled, "When Tyson hit me, it felt like my head was spinning." McBride recounted in an interview, describing the intensity of Tyson's punches. He went on to explain that, in response to the brutal blow, he grabbed Tyson in a headlock and taunted him, which only enraged Tyson further. According to McBride, Tyson responded by biting him, an act that caused excruciating pain. This moment, captured in the fight footage, exemplifies the unpredictable and fierce nature that Tyson brings into the ring, even decades after his prime. With this in mind, McBride offered some advice to the 27-year-old Paul. He emphasized the importance of maintaining a strong defense and being acutely aware of Tyson's unpredictable behavior. McBride warned Paul to be on high alert, particularly if Tyson spits out his mouthpiece, a move that, in McBride's experience, could precede something unexpected and dangerous. McBride advised, "Tyson is a fearsome man, even in his 50s. It takes real courage to step into the ring with him, whether you're a seasoned fighter or a YouTuber like Paul." Many have speculated that Tyson's age could work to Paul's advantage, giving the younger fighter an opportunity to claim victory. However, McBride is quick to dismiss this notion. He believes that Tyson's power remains largely intact, and it could be the deciding factor in the fight. McBride pointed out that power is the last thing a fighter loses, and Tyson, despite his age, still possesses an incredible punch. McBride suggested, if Tyson connects with just one solid hit, it could be lights out for Paul, indicating that the younger fighter could find himself in serious trouble if he underestimates Tyson's capabilities. McBride also hinted at the possibility of returning to the ring himself. He expressed a willingness to come out of retirement for another fight with Tyson, should the opportunity arise. McBride said, "If Tyson wins and Paul wants a rematch, I'd be ready to step in again." He even offered to substitute in the upcoming fight if Tyson or Paul pulled out. Lennox Lewis has told Jake Paul that he is fortunate that he is not taking on Mike Tyson in a professional fight.
Mike Tyson, he's fighting Jake Paul. You know this man well. What are your expectations for that big fight?
Mike Tyson is two-dimensional. He's going to come at you, trying to knock you out. You got to try and stay away from him. Stay away from his power. I seen him working out the other day, and he throws some good combinations. Make sure that he's not in the way of those punches. Tyson's a real fighter.
He's 57 years young. He still got it. He still got it in his eyes.
Oh yeah, Tyson can throw a punch. He can take a punch. He's doing something that he's used to.
Despite the huge age difference between Paul, 27, and Tyson, 58, the former has been warned that he should count his lucky stars that he's not taking on the boxing icon in a sanctioned bout. Asked by TMZ if he was looking forward to the event back in April, Lewis said, "Absolutely. It's going to be a great fight, and I'm looking forward to it." And asked if he was disappointed the fight will not be a professional one, he added, No. I would feel really bad for Jake Paul. I don't want him to get hurt." It is not the first time that Lewis has shared his thoughts on the upcoming fight. Despite it not being a professional fight, he is still fully expecting Paul to feel Tyson's full power. Speaking to The Guardian in May, he said, "I'm concerned for Jake Paul. Tyson still knows how to punch, as you can see when he's hitting a bag. If Jake Paul gets hit by one of those punches, he's going to feel it. I know Jake Paul doesn't want to get hit. Tyson comes forward and he knows how to cut off the ring. It could be a matter of time, as how good is Jake Paul's defense. I saw Mike a couple of weeks ago, and he looked good. He was walking around without a shirt and showing off his body, so he's getting ready." He further added, "I'm looking forward to it because you've got to look at these guys as entertainers. The public love them and want to see them in action." Mike's former trainer, Freddie Roach, also has good things to say about Mike. Mike, as he believes that he'll do well in this fight.
You know, I used to train Tyson. I like Mike a lot, and he does come by my gym once in a while to say hello and visit and stuff. And then all of a sudden this fight's coming up, and you know, it's a younger, maybe stronger man. But no, I can't say stronger.
Tyson Fury believes Mike Tyson will shock the world and teach the problem child a lesson when they eventually go head-to-head. In a clip reshared by MMA Reed, the Gypsy King said, "Listen, if Mike Tyson hits anybody, I don't care if he's 90, he's gonna knock them out cold, innit? Obviously, I have to back Mike Tyson. I'm named after the legend and I'll back him. As he always backs me, I'm backing Mike for the knockout. Come on, Mike." Roy Jones, the last opponent Tyson faced in their 2020 exhibition match, which was dubbed Lockdown Knockdown, still remembers how powerful Tyson is in his later years. In an interview with Shane Mosley, Jones was asked about the fight right away and said that Tyson was the hardest hitter he had ever encountered.
But if Mike takes it serious like he took with me, then he gonna take. I don't see Jake beating him because he's very hard to hit. He's only in shape. And he's still a very hard puncher.
Jones further elaborated on how hard Tyson hit him when they both fought. He stated, "Mike Tyson is still the strongest puncher that I've ever been in the ring with. Ever. Now I think he's 57, maybe 58. Yet he's still the strongest puncher. The first time he hit me on my chin, I felt like a mule had kicked me in my chest." Jones' remarks carry a lot of weight since Jake Paul is preparing to fight against Tyson in November. There has been a lot of criticism directed at the fight, which will have milder regulations because Paul and Tyson are 30 years apart in age, but Paul has committed to bulking up, which Jones says is a necessary but imperfect strategy. Jones further added, "If he's at 230, that can make it very interesting. Jake's not going to fight close, and he can't stay away from him because Mike will close the gap too quick." Jones commented, "I thought I could stay away from him. I couldn't. And I know I'm better at staying away from people than Jake is." However, the criticism of Mike fighting at an old age was the talk of the talk, and many pros voiced their distaste for the showdown. Stephen A. Smith was never into this fight. Once the news broke out of the fight being a pro fight, Smith was devastated by it. He stated, "I'm sad. I'm saddened by it. I'm disgusted by it. I don't like it one bit. I'm not taking anything away from the great Mike Tyson, who we all treasure because of the years of greatness he gave us, but he is 57. He questioned that there isn't a reason for this showdown to be a pro fight. I mean, come on, man. Listen, Tyson can hurt anybody, and I'm not dismissing that, but he hasn't been fighting, and Jake Paul hasn't fought any real ranked professional boxers. Why should this be a sanctioned boxing match?" Smith also criticized Jake Paul for fighting a much older Mike Tyson, that too in a pro fight now. He stated, "I like Jake Paul, and I appreciate what he does for the sport of boxing in terms of bringing attention to the sport and showing you can do it promoting yourself as opposed to being at the mercy of promoters. The flip side to it, however, is that he keeps telling us how serious he's taking this and how bad he wants it. Well, okay, if you want the money, man, please keep doing your thing. But if it's not just about that, and if it's about you wanting to elevate your level, then you've got to get in the ring with somebody of your ilk, your age, your size, because he's fought dudes who are smaller than him, by the way, and stuff like that. You got to do that." Gareth A. Davies was also very concerned upon hearing the news of this fight turning into a proper sanctioned boxing match. He said that he doesn't want to see a boxing legend like Mike Tyson lose to a YouTuber like Jake Paul.
I am very concerned about the news this week that this is a sanctioned boxing bout that will count on the record. I do not want to read on boxrec.com or on Wikipedia that Mike Tyson in 2024 lost to Jake Paul, an influencer and a YouTuber, in a veritable boxing match. It's just not right, and I think we should be concerned about his health, and I think we should be concerned how one of the greatest living icons of our sport, Spencer Oliver, is forced to fight.
Former world champion Sergio Mora said that Jake Paul fighting Mike Tyson is just not fair because of the age gap between the two. Mora stated, "Man, I've always been a critic of Jake Paul, and having him fight real fighters and boxers. But fighting a fighter that hasn't fought in over 20 years of Mike Tyson, he got beat, 20 years ago, and he got knocked out in the last 2 fights. So at 57, 58 years old, come on, you're fighting a senior citizen, and it's not fair." Mora highlighted the recent training videos that Tyson has been uploading and believes that these 10 seconds training clips are not practical when it comes to a real boxing match. He stated, "He can look like a beast, Mike Tyson, for like the 10-second clips that he posts on social media. Anyone could do it. I could look like a killer right now on the pads for 10 seconds, but as soon as he turns that camera off, I'm gonna be huffing and puffing and sore." Sergio Mora also gave a bold prediction for the fight. He believes that Mike won't survive for long without a headgear. "If there's no headgear, I think Mike gets beat up where they probably stop the fight. The age gap between Mike Tyson and Jake Paul had been the biggest criticism of the mega fight. This age gap not only jeopardizes the well-being of Mike Tyson during the fight, but also the credibility of Jake Paul as a legit boxer too. Paul has previously expressed his thoughts about taking boxing seriously and winning a world title, but his fight against an old and washed-up Mike Tyson is the complete opposite. Oscar De La Hoya believed this as he thinks Jake can't lead himself to the world title by fighting Mike Tyson.
I think Mike Tyson, Jake Paul, look, it's one of those fights where, again, the world's going to watch. It's going to create new eyeballs for boxing. It's going to create a lot of news all over the world. But I stick to my message, and that is, if Jake Paul wants to take the sport serious, then he should be fighting young guys who are top 15, top 10, not heroes and legends like Mike Tyson, who are 60 years old.
Thank you, buddy.
That's it.
Oscar also mentioned the age gap between the two fighters and advised Paul to avoid these kinds of matches. He stated, "I don't know how that's going to work. Mike Tyson is 60 years old. Jake Paul is 26, 27. If Jake Paul wants to take boxing seriously, take a different route. Take the route that all the other fighters take. Tough fights up the ranks. Top 10 fighters, top 5, world champions. Not this route with Tyson. That's not the way to do it." When asked about if Tyson can still go toe-to-toe with Jake despite his age, Oscar stated, "Tyson still has the punching power. That's the last thing that goes until you're in your grave. If Tyson catches him with a good one, it's lights out for Jake Paul. Imagine Tyson in a real fight. He still has that punching power." KSI was never a fan of this fight. He expressed his dismay from the day this fight got announced. He stated, "I just feel Jake's legacy will be. He can knock out old people. I think it's super sad. I don't know why Jake took it. It's a lose-lose. There's going to be so many people watching, millions and millions. Everyone is going to know him as a guy that knocked out an old Mike Tyson." Former British professional boxer Tony Jeffries was also disappointed in Mike Tyson for taking this fight. He believes that even a legend like Mike Tyson can be bought, which makes this situation very sad. He stated, "It's so sad that Mike Tyson has got to do this fight. Someone on Instagram said that he's choosing to do it. But why is he choosing to do this? Well, he's doing it for one reason, and one reason only, and that is money. He's getting so much money to do this, so that tells me that he's getting bought. It's very sad that someone like Mike Tyson, a boxing legend, can get bought. He shouldn't be able to be bought like this. He's 57 years old. He should be enjoying retirement." Curtis Blaydes disliked this fight so much that he wasn't even going to watch it if it happened on July 20th. In an interview, the host asked Blaydes his thoughts on the fight and asked whether he planned to watch it. He said that it's a joke fight, and he won't be watching this fight.
"I will not be watching. I think it's a joke fight. You could tell just by how they've been interacting with the face-off and the press conference. That's not the Mike Tyson who's coming to rip your head off. That ain't Iron Mike."
Tony Bellew has also shared his thoughts on the bout. He wants to see Tyson victorious within seconds, but has already sent a warning to Paul should he overstep the mark. Speaking to Boyle Sports, he said, "Mike is probably getting between 20 million pounds to 50 million pounds for this fight. I'm not going to lie, I'd do it. Everyone has got a price. But if Jake Paul hurts Mike Tyson, it would absolutely kill me. If he hurt Mike Tyson and I then run into Jake Paul, I'd chin him, quite happily. I would even spend a couple weeks in the big house for that." Bellew was not happy with Jake going up against an old Mike Tyson and hoped that Mike knocks Jake out before he gets hurt. "It's a sad, sad day. It's not a professional contest really, because only women fight 2-minute rounds. Men do not fight 2 minutes. But Jake Paul is so pig-headed that he wants it to go on Mike Tyson's record. Hopefully, Mike chins him and puts him to sleep in 6 or 7 seconds. UFC star Colby Covington simply hated the fight as the age difference between the two fighters concerns him regarding Mike's well-being. Colby believed that this fight would tarnish Mike's legacy. He also accused Jake Paul and his brother Logan Paul for taking steroids.
I think, Mike still looks like a superhuman for 58, but he's still 58 years old, and he shouldn't be fighting anymore. I don't think it's safe. I think it's dangerous. At that age, your heart might explode. He gets hit in the head. He might have a brain bleed. I mean, the guy, that's what I hope for. I hope that Mike Tyson makes it through injury-free and doesn't get hurt. But I don't like the fight. Jake's in his mid-20s. He's doing every chemical known to man. He's literally a lab project. They're just juicing him up, him and his brother. Yeah. Everybody knows that. The machine's behind him, juicing him up, putting every chemical known to man. So I think it's going to end bad. I think, Jake's going to probably knock him out within the first 2 minutes. And if he doesn't, then it'll be because he's carrying him and he's trying to make the freak show look like it's a competitive fight. But I hate the fight. I think it takes away from Mike Tyson's legacy when a guy like this comes in and beats him.
Deontay Wilder slammed the commission's decision to sanction the bout a few time ago. He stated, "He's Mike too old for this. We can talk about the pros and cons, but at the end of the day, they don't give a I don't think anyone cares about Mike because if they did, they wouldn't sanction the fight. I don't want the last thing I remember of him is him getting knocked out by a YouTuber. So what are your thoughts about this fight? Is Mike Tyson still the beast he was in his prime? Do let us know in the comment section below. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe for more videos like this.